Welcome back to the Talos Principle 2 in West 1. First of the West levels. We kinda just talked a whole lot last time, so I guess let's get into it and explore a bit more before we do some levels. I just want to see what's up here before we go elsewhere. Oh yeah, just reading. I guess so. I want to do other stuff, but yeah, I guess reading. And yeah, we should go get this one as well. Looks like 2 people as well. And then Prometheus. Yeah, that's that thing, and we know where that is. There's no Pandora statue, is there? Have we ever had, like, all 3 in one level? I'm not sure. If we always just have 2. And surely it's not... No, I don't think it's... I was gonna say, it would have been cool if it was, like, there's always 2 statues, and the one that isn't here is in the tower. But no, I'm pretty sure, you know, last time we had Sphinx, and it was Sphinx in the tower and stuff. Alright, from Arenia. I know that we didn't have the greatest relationship, and I frequently antagonized you. The truth is I resented you, resented this mythology of the Founder. I thought you had created it deliberately, as a way of controlling us. I wanted so badly to be free, and you seemed to stand in the way of that. Only after you left and the cult of personality grew even wilder did I realize it was actually a burden and an impediment, I forget how you pronounce that, to you. When they turned your myth into the opposite of everything you actually believed, started tearing down your dreams in your own name, I realized I'd wronged you, and now I'm less free than ever. I feel the walls crushing me. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. I don't know if coming back would fix things, but I'm sorry. Well, that's a nice one. Seems Arenia really does, like, understand Athena, at least on some level. And yeah, like I said, I wonder if since they're here, since Athena must have built all this, surely that means that Athena did read this already? I don't know. Atlas 1. From the Atlas Variations by Athanasius? I have no idea. After 1 billion years, when Atlas had grown old and tired of holding up the world, he was faced with a dilemma. Heracles, the son of Zeus, was on his way to the garden of Hesperides to claim the golden apples, which were guarded by the dragon Ladon. Zeus came to Atlas and promised that if Atlas helped Heracles slay the dragon, Zeus would free Atlas from his burden. But Atlas, seeing the beauty and innocence of Ladon, beloved of the Hesperides, I don't know, man, how to pronounce any of this shit, could not slay the beast. Instead, he stole the apples and gave them to Heracles, and so he was condemned to bear the weight of the cosmos for another 1 billion years. But though Atlas grieved for his freedom, he was comforted by watching Ladon flourish in the verdant garden. Zeus is kind of a dick! Who knew? And Wild Fragments. Joy and beauty from the soul of man. Sympathy with pain there will, of course, always be. It is one of the first instincts of man. The animals which are individual, the higher animals, that is to say, share it with us. But it must be remembered that while sympathy with joy intensifies the sum of joy in the world, sympathy with pain does not really diminish the amount of pain. It may make man better able to endure evil, but the evil remains. Sympathy with consumption does not cure consumption, that is what science does. Hexadecimal. A lot of it. Well, decent, it's probably like a 2-sentence thing or something. Christ made no attempt to reconstruct society, and consequently the individualism that he preached to man could be realized only through pain or in solitude. The ideals that we owe to Christ are the ideals of the man who abandons society entirely, or of the man who resists society absolutely. But man is naturally social. Even the Thebaid? No clue? Became peopled at last. And though the Cenobite realizes his personality, it is often an impoverished personality that he so realizes. Shallow speakers and shallow thinkers in pulpits and on platforms often talk about the world's worship of pleasure and whine against it, but it is rarely in the world's history that its ideal has been one of joy and beauty. Huh? I'm not entirely sure I see that last point. When you tell people that a society could be built on the ideals of joy and beauty, they think you're a utopian fantasist. I see, yeah. That kind of makes sense. If you tell them society will always be built on exploitation and greed, they think you're wise, and so they make the outcome inevitable. That is also interesting. Performative cynicism has always been the hallmark of adolescence. But has there ever been a society of adults? Can there ever be one? Why is this childishness so extremely powerful? More powerful than joy and beauty? Yeah, I don't have the answer to that question. That was kind of interesting. So, I guess let's go fetch this transmission over here. Is it Miranda again? Miranda and Athena this time?
You know, when I decided that we should call ourselves human, I did that because it seemed like a powerful symbol of our continuity. But the truth is, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I thought we were better than them.
Wow.
I thought we understood the value of civilization, and we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes.
And yet here we are.
The simulation worked too well.
We're not just like them.
Lost level?
We are them.
We really are.
But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, Athena.
And it was Cornelius.
We may have the same flaws, but we also have all the potential they did. Everything that Alexandra Drennan saw in them is also in us.
I hope you're right. I really do.
Yeah, you would hope that since we were manufactured, created in that sense, we would be, like, greater than them, not having the flaws of humans, but I guess no such luck. Too faithful. Against decay. From selected archive documents A through C. We live in a decaying system, which in turn produces ideologies of decay to justify its existence. No matter what cultural signifiers they get packaged with, these ideologies come down to the same material result. A future in which, for the average person, there's less of everything. To paraphrase Mark Fisher, we find it easier to imagine the decline of civilization than to imagine a civilization worth living in. Yeah, this is very, like, pessimistic, all of the writing in this area. Some hexadecimal. Those of us who still believe that humanity can thrive, that there is a path forward other than willful or accidental decay, are out of sync with the system. No matter how we phrase our arguments, they will be perceived in terms of whatever cultural signifiers the listener opposes. Yep, that is also true. It's a deeply frustrating, depressing, even infuriating situation, but what can we do except patiently explain and hope conditions change? In other words, what can we do except have faith? This was written only a few months before the discovery of the virus. There was no time for conditions to change. So everything was pessimistic, and then it went to shit. Great. Yeah. Very happy. Founding 11, day 882. It's been a while since I last wrote an entry in my journal. Much has changed in New Jerusalem. We put up a good chunk of the planned living quarters, and the old storage facility has been converted into a movie theater, of all things. So we still argue a lot, but now it's mostly about which film we'll be watching next. Other construction efforts are going well too, although we've begun to run out of readily available resources. Our scavenging expeditions are ranging further and further afield with each passing month, and the sites that they have reported on sound truly marvelous. One day I might want to go see for myself. It's a good thing, in that regard, that we'll getting two? Okay, that's just a typo, I guess. We'll be getting 2 new citizens soon, because everyone is as busy as ever. More hands to help us build our future. I can't wait to meet them. Yeah, not sure what happened to Hypatia. If they're still around in New Jerusalem, or what. And some hexadecimal. And then Trevor. Still hanging in there.
How is this supposed to work? The system is meant to last centuries. Centuries! And yeah, Chernyshevsky's plan, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. but I'm working with hardware that was deliberately designed to fail.
Oh, yeah.
Planned obsolescence, baby.
Yep, that's a
Selling
good
broken
point.
garbage just to make another buck. A buck you can't even spend because in a few more weeks, we'll be extinct. Was it worth it? That's the part that Alexandra doesn't see. The greed, the stupidity, the selfishness, the way that we created this whole situation in the first place. She wants you to be like us, but if you ask me, there's a whole lot of human history and behavior you can just throw away, chuck it in the trash, right? You have a chance at a fresh start. Make the best of it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Trevor there. Alexandra always came off as a bit too much of an idealist or optimist. I mean, I guess that's her point in that sense, but yeah. Trevor definitely seems a little more realistic in that sense. And a machine used for extracting petroleum. Our ancestors used machines of this type to extract a substance called petroleum, which had countless industrial applications. Technologies involving petroleum revolutionized human society and greatly increased human quality of life, but also came with initially discounted side effects, such as the release of greenhouse gases. Yeah. Yeah, what next? What are next? Anything up here? I wonder if we'll find some Easter eggs in this one. Oh, that's the lab, I guess. Do I want to go into the lab right away? I guess so. So that... Oh, hi, Spark. That's gonna start a forest fire. Better clean this up. Yeah, maybe we should get into this early so that if, like, Al is in there or Herman or something, they can start walking around or something and we can talk to them later. Or whatever is going to happen. I guess Melville is going to be here too. And I guess this gives some kind of sneak peek on some technology, but who knows? They kind of stopped doing that whole sneak peek thing. Not sure what I'm looking at there, just some structure. Alright, reading. From Thekla to Athena, I suppose, but it's corrupted in that sense. Beloved Founder, know that I do not believe any of the lies the expedition is spreading about you. Wait. Oh. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting. I thought most of these messages were like, you know, old messages that were around in the time that Athena was doing all this. But this is like, right now. She must have sent this like recently. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I don't know, like, what the timeline for some of these messages and documents are. Something is right. This Prometheus, Pandora, I guess, is right. This Prometheus illusion is just a test. We will resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint Hexadecimal. Uh-huh. I'd say we just, like, mute Thekla and just shadow ban her. Athena history. More Hexadecimal. A lot of it. Holy cow. That's gonna be like an entire thing covering this, I imagine. I don't think that'll fit here. Something was first published as Athena, a novel, and retained that title for its first 3 printings, now highly sought after. After a lull in popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. This edition retained the same text, but included some of the author's poetry. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death, under the rather embarrassing title Athena's Truth. So this is something, again, I don't know if this is actually real or if it's just fictional within, like, factual within the fictional world of this game. So it was made, like, before the virus, before Athena, like the robot Athena and all that. Included severe cuts and drastic changes to the text. in the interest of updating it for modern audiences. This particularly affected the last chapter, Anthropogeny, another word I don't remember how to pronounce. It's like, so many words. I know the words, I just don't know how to say them. You don't really tend to hear them out loud all that often. Which the editors accused of scientism and human supremacy. I'm not following the sentence, like... The editors accused? Oh, accused the chapter of being, like, scientist, but not the noun. So they rewrote it. Yeah, I gotta love, like, rewriting and remaking and changing things just because what was in them then is no longer, like, socially acceptable. Science wunderkind Alexandra Drennan was one of the few to come to the novel's defense, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey towards humanity had been essential to shaping her own views, encouraging her to pursue science as a vocation rather than a career, and that changing the text constituted an attack on the author's unique artistic and philosophical vision. Alex, who hurt you, Lamau? One of the editors commented on a popular social media platform. Gee, I wonder which one. Nadia Sarabai, however you pronounce that again, of the Institute for Applied Nomadix also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long but unsuccessful campaign to oust Sarabai from her position as head researcher. Great, gotta love social media drama. In the current context of ecological catastrophe, as evidenced by the recent extinction of the orangutan, clumsy editing aside, do the critics of the novel perhaps have a point after all? Is a philosophy that places humans above nature and sees science and technology as the only valid tools, the cause of all our troubles? What about other ways of knowing, other ways of living? Okay, not sure I, got that much out of that. Yeah, alright. And yeah, it's looking like today is gonna be a mostly reading and talking episode as well. Is no one here? Melville? Herman? Al? I was expecting someone to be in here. Okay, so what's going on here? It's just these clouds, but surely we're not using them as puzzle mechanics, are we? I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be doing. I think I'll hold off on that one. Yeah, from Byron. That would have been interesting if this was, like, very recent, and he was like, help me! Guys! God damn it! To Athena, I just wish I knew why you didn't tell me. Yeah. Message to Drennan. From someone? I don't know if... Like, whenever you translate the hexadecimal, it doesn't seem like it's actually uncovering what should have been there. It's always, like, separate. So, I could uncover this right now, but it's probably not, like, a name or anything, but... I mean, sure, let's do that one sec. Yet not. Yet not. Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, it's probably yet not nature something. Okay, it keeps going, so never mind. Whoops. I'll do that later. To Alexandra Drennan at Ian. Who do you think you are, playing God like that? When Mother Nature has finally found a way of getting rid of us, you come up with this harebrained scheme to keep our destruction of the planet going. Just try for 1 second to think about something other than your own arrogance and hubris, Alexandra. Try to imagine what you are really doing here. Without your robotic perversions, the future looks beautiful. No more humans murdering everything in their path. The skies clear up, the stars become visible again, the rivers stop being filthy, and after a few decades they're full of fish again. Dolphins and whales roam the seas like their ancestors did. The cities turn into jungles. Bats nest in the skyscrapers were hedge fund managers? Yeah, used to ruin lives. I guess in this context, the typo could make sense because it probably was in the original, like, angry, fuming rant. The Earth lives on as it was meant to, peacefully and quiet. The Earth lives on as it was meant to, peacefully and quietly, until someday in the distant future when it all ends, like it was also meant to. Or we take your path, we continue our rampage. Well, I mean, by your own logic, if we continue our rampage, we're still gonna die out eventually anyway, and then there's gonna be that beautiful peace and stuff that you're talking about, so why just give up? Like, that's the kind of same logic as, like, why are you even alive right now? It's human to want to, like, continue existing in some manner, as far as we can. We place ourselves above the animals, we think we know better than Mother Nature, we violate all boundaries, we ruin all purity. Perhaps we even defy death, just so that we can keep spreading our filth. Then we spread to other planets to do more of the same. And in the end, what have we left behind but plastic and radiation? Think, Alexandra, why is this like the fucking Invincible speech? Isn't it better for beauty to return to the Earth? For us to acknowledge that intelligence was a mistake and to gracefully exit while we can? I don't think exiting at that point would be graceful. Stop this. Go spend time with your friends and loved ones before the end. Let it go. Let us all go. Let there be peace. I don't understand how someone could hate humanity so much. This person must have been full of sadness and frustration to write something so ugly. I've tried to understand it as well, but I still don't. Yeah. And Stratton on Socrates. Stratton. I'm not gonna call him Stratton of Stagira or whatever it was. Sorry, man. In killing a philosopher for asking questions they did not like, the Athenians committed themselves to a tragedy with an ironic ending. Some will say that his true crime was his friendship with Alcibiades? Alcibiades. I have no fucking clue. Fuck Greek, man. The shameless deceiver of idiots and buffoons, and the insipid brute Cretius, and that he was executed as an enemy of democracy. That he was the latter can hardly be denied, for Socrates asked not too many questions, but too few, or he would not have survived the rule of the 30 tyrants. Yet in the end, he got what he asked for, a tyrannical decision made by would-be wise men against the spirit of freedom, which he obeyed like a knave, and the Athenians, I don't know, in fulfilling his wishes, strangled the roots of democracy while seeking to preserve it. Yeah, this is very bitter, Stratton. Ouch! No wonder Stratton wasn't popular. People who speak the truth at all times rarely are. Yeah, I mean, that ties into what he was talking about earlier. And I don't think we have time to check what this thing is. We'll have to do that next time. Sure is a lot of reading and talking and talking. Okay, it's just more reading. No, like, schematic or anything. No, corrupted file. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna continue reading next time. And no one is here. I don't know where everyone is. We'll see, I guess. And yeah, hopefully we can get into the levels as well and see what the mechanic of this area is like. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you then.